So more than 100 people are dead after that devastating cyclone barreled through our neighbouring countries, Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Cyclone Idai has now largely dissipated, but earlier it brought floods and ferocious winds after making landfall near the port city of Beira in Mozambique. Zimbabwe says that 65 people were killed in the east of the country, while the UN in Zimbabwe says nearly 10,000 people were affected. Mozambique has raised its own death toll now to 48. Many are still missing after houses and bridges were washed away and some areas are still not accessible. Even before the cyclone made landfall on Friday, heavy rains had claimed more than 100 lives in Mozambique and Malawi. Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa has confirmed that South Africans have been sent to help electrical authorities in Mozambique to try and restore power that cut off of extra energy has contributed to the current load shedding that we are experiencing here in South Africa. International Relations Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has appealed to NGOs, companies and individuals to make donations. To discuss, we're now joined by the spokesperson for the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Ndibuwo Mabaya. Thank you for being with us.
Good evening.
Mr.
Good evening.
So we're calling for donations. That's all good and well. But what are we doing officially as South Africa?
We have teams in Malawi and Zimbabwe and Mozambique that are assisting the authorities there to do the search and rescue. But what we are realizing after the briefing this morning by the ambassadors from the three countries who are there on the ground is that when the search and rescue is complete, the next step is humanitarian aid. When you are taken to a dry area, you need food, you need shoes, you need clothes, you need medications, the kids need to go to school. So that's why the minister is saying, let us now move to the next step because the law enforcement agencies are dealing with the search and rescue.
How many people involved in the search and rescue? Are these army personnel? Who are they?
You know, the Mozambique Defense Force is leading the search and rescue in Mozambique. The same will apply in Zimbabwe. The same will apply in Malawi. But the Defense Force, the South African Defense Force, issued a statement yesterday to indicate that some of their assets will go and assist. I was explaining to you during the break that the Defense Forces are coping, they are doing all they can, and we are complementing the capacity that they have. And because now the cyclone is almost passing, it has reached land, it's now water, we now need to move to humanitarian assistance. And that's what we are calling for assistance of.
I'm asking because in my mind, and I don't know if this is how it works, but the minutes now, the hours would be crucial because there are people in cut-off areas
yes.
that maybe could drown, that maybe can't get to
yes.
land. So surely you need all the boats, all the divers, everybody yes. in the water.
Yes, there is a lot of that capacity from the defense forces of the countries and the other search and rescue teams that are there. So when we come in South Africa, we come to complement. We come to assist with planning. But as I said, we are beginning to move into phase 2 where people have been rescued, but they do not have anything. They have left their clothes, they have left their food, and that's why we are calling on South Africans, particularly also companies that are doing business in these countries, and also big companies in South Africa, NGOs, to come through and assist so that we do not make this worse.
Is money coming through already?
We are receiving calls, not necessarily money. We are receiving calls from big companies that are saying, you know what, we can assist with clothes, we can assist with medication, we can assist with water. Like I said earlier, for you to deal with some of these waterborne diseases like cholera, you need water pills, you need water purification chemicals, and those kind of donations will come in very handy, both in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Malawi. But we are very humbled by the response we have received. I mean, we have people saying we're going to be bringing things to the department tomorrow and all of that. So we are very happy, and we are making a call to everybody. They just come to DERCO. There will be people where they can drop things, and then we can pick them up from there.
Will government be giving any of its own money? And I know Zimbabwe was even asking for money for economic reasons because they're in such debt even before this. Will we be giving any financial relief?
You know, the Minister of Finance is dealing with the issue in Zimbabwe. But if you look at the issue in Malawi, you look at the issue in Mozambique, it's humanitarian issues that you need to deal with here. We have the African Renaissance Fund that usually assists in cases like this. We will do an assessment. If there is a need for more and we are not getting that from the private sector and NGOs, we might be able to look at it. The saving of life is very important. But we are in touch every morning, every afternoon with our ambassadors in these countries, and we'll be able to assist where we can assist. But the Minister of Finance will then guide us on what we can do and what we can't do.
Okay, so right now, DIRCO is coordinating the relief, and someone will go and hand it over in Zimbabwe, in Mozambique.
Yes.
You're looking at both countries.
Yes, all these countries have got embassies in South Africa, so it will be easy to coordinate all of this, hand them over to their embassies, and they'll get them delivered there. We have got very good relations, both politically, diplomatically. So we do this all the time. We coordinate with each other, we assist each other. So we'll coordinate, collect, hand over. If we need to deliver, we will deliver. Yes.
And we as a country were feeling very relieved that it wasn't going to hit us, the cyclone. We're often not affected. But now the load shedding. I mean, this is a huge impact for South Africa. Did we see it coming?
As you know, I mean, we saw a statement that says that we were affected by some of the electricity challenges that emanated in Mozambique because of the cyclone as well. ESCOM has indicated that they are dealing with this matter, and I'm sure they will resolve it as soon as possible. They have not slept for the past 48 hours.
All right, and according to the President, we are sending people to try and help them with that issue.
The more the merrier. I'm sure the engineers from South Africa, the engineers from Mozambique, when they're working together, they will make it faster.
All right, in another matter you're dealing with, Buhle Bengu, a 29-year-old woman, died in the Bahamas. Her family has wanted her to come back home, or her body to be repatriated. It's thought she had TB. So that's been very difficult because the countries that she would have to have traveled through were objecting. Now there's a cremation. Just tell me the circumstances.
You see, what happened with Ms. Bengu is that when you pass on in another country, there are a range of international laws and international health regulations, depending on what you were suffering from and all of that. And with Buhle, you find that it's either when you bring back the body home, it must go through the United States of America, or it must go through the UK. And a number of regulations bind us. And then we thought we should sit down with the family, together with the Bahamas authorities, and share with them the challenges that we are facing. And after a number of meetings, a number of intervention by our High Commission, we all agreed by Friday that the family must fly to Bahamas, and after viewing of the body, we'll then have cremation. As I speak now, the family is in the Bahamas. We thank the employer of Ms. Bengu, MSC, for arranging the flights and all other departments that were involved to allow them to have this very difficult situation resolved.
Family members have been quoted as saying they are devastated, though, that they can't give her a dignified burial and funeral here. Have you as government done the best you could in this circumstance?
We have. You know, if we did not intervene, she would have been cremated about 2 weeks ago. The High Commissioner Yengeni, intervened very early. We have done all that needed to be done. They also understood that we are also hamstrung by a number of international relations, rules and regulations.
All right. Thank you very much. We have to leave it there. That was spokesperson for the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Ndivuwo Mabaya. We take a short break. We'll be back with more.